Namaskar and good evening, everybody. I welcome all of you to this Sunday webinar of Philosophy Family. Today we have with us um, 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 Madam Vanamala. She will be speaking to us on Vyasa Kootas, Sri Paramahansa Yogananda's yogic principles. It is from the Bhagavad Gita perspective. Well, as Dr. Pramod sir said, I might be knowing her very well. The only contact was during the Indian Philosophical Congress that was recently held at Chithambaram, where she presented under this title very beautifully. But due to the paucity of time, I could not. I was the chairperson there, but I could not allow her much time. But breaking all time frames, I gave her much more time in comparison to others because she was speaking so beautifully. Then I couldn't do justice. Say because she would have spoken much better had I should have given much time. But now she has got a platform where she can put forth her ideas without any time constraint. Well, we can limit her talk to 1 hour 15 minutes, something like that. So she can speak today in complete details. Well, Vyasa Kootas, well, it is something which is new to most of us, and she will be speaking this from the Bhagavad Gita perspective again. So it's a beautiful topic. Well, I don't say I have understood totally what she spoke because she was on the shorter side that day. But today I'm all ready to note down what she will be speaking, and I think the participants today will be benefited a lot. So with these words, I welcome all of you to this Sunday webinar with salutations to the Lord, and let us invite the speaker, Madam Vanamala, to present her talk. Welcome, Madam. Well, I also invite all the senior professors and all the participants to be with us and stay connected with us, and also request all of you to be there connected with us till the end so that we can have a beautiful discussion after. And I know she responds to the queries very beautifully. So I wish all of you to be there with us connected till the end. So with these words, I thank our admin for allowing me to introduce to our family and present a talk here. I thought she will be presenting somewhere in March, but we got a slot, and it's good that we'll be listening to Dr. Vanamala. Well, with these words, let us move to the speaker for her talk. Welcome, madam, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for that beautiful introduction. And it was wonderful meeting you at the IPC in Chidambaram. And I also welcome all the senior professors. I don't see all the names and faces, but then few what I see very qualified HODs of many departments, psychology, philosophy. I welcome all of you. Before we begin, I would like to take the divine name. So I request everyone to close your eyes and we'll do a small prayer to the divine. ॐ अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। ज्ञानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्तिं पूजामूलं गुरुपदं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्य मोक्षमूलं गुरुकृपा। गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Good evening to everybody. So the topic of today is the Vyasa Kootas, which are concealed in the Bhagavad Gita, and a few of the Vyasa Kootas which are concealed in the Mahabharata. So now most of us are aware that Vedavyasa Mahamuni had put in some puzzles. We are aware that these puzzles have not been decoded for more than 2750 years, ever since it has been written. For the first time in this ascending yuga, we are in an ascending yuga. In this ascending yuga, great saints who are also great gurus of people like Shirdi Sai Baba, masters like Shirdi Sai Baba, like Mahavatar Baba Ji, Lahari Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswar Ji, and Paramahansa Yogananda have deciphered these and placed it before the people. Paramahansa Yogananda goes on to say that if it had been deciphered by the great rishis in the past, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they could understand. But the normal person of about 200, 300 years back, or even 1,000 years back, could not. The Wi Fi is connected on the laptop. So, like I was saying, Paramahansa Yogananda, Swami Shri Yukteswar Ji, and these great Mahavatars have actually given these Vyasakutas. If Paramahansa Yogananda goes on to say that in future, as greater and greater Mahatmas come, many more Vyasakutas will come into the fore. In his very powerful book called The God Talks with Arjuna, he brings out many Vyasakutas. That is what we are going to discuss. When the laptop is getting connected, I'd just like to give a preamble. I've collated these Vyasakutas into four parts. The first part will talk about the family history or the genealogy chart of the Mahabharata family. Why did Bhagwan himself, Sri Krishna, take birth in a family like the, Pandava Kaurava related to them? Why did he come in such a powerful avatar? Did he plan something? So, what is the whole story and the whole picture? So, that part we're going to cover. So, these covers the basics of the Vyasakutas in the Mahabharata story. Then we move on to the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, there are many shlokas, especially in the first chapter, which introduces the Gita, the war. Why does Vedavyasa Mahamuni introduce only certain kings? There are hundreds of kings. Of Atra Shura Maheshwasa, Bhimarjuna Samayuti, Yudano Virata. I think it's just done. So, Atrishura Maheshwasa, Bhimarjuna Samayudi, Yudano Viratascha, Drupadascha Maharata, Drishtaketushchekitana, Kashi Rajascha Viryavan, Purujit Kuntibojascha, Saibhyascha Narapungava. So many people are introduced. Why are these people introduced when Bhagavan Mahatma wanted to speak? This Mahavatar Krishna wanted to speak only about yoga. He was talking about union with Brahma. So why does he have to introduce these people? Okay, many people have given interpretation. Okay, he wanted to explain what was happening before the war. But here is the catch. There was a reason why these people were introduced. Because in the first chapter, within these names, when you break these names, you get the complete first chapter of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So Paramahansa Yogananda goes on to say something very unique, proclaimed for the first time in history of mankind, that Muni Patanjali, who came after the Mahabharata, who was of course a very advanced rishi, has meditated on these Gita, the words of Bhagavan, and he has deduced Vitarka, Vichara, Ananda, Asmita, Samadhi. Asampragnata, Sampragnata, Sabija, Nirbija. Then he talks about Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, and Tivra Samvega. You need all these qualities to attain these states of higher consciousness. So, where did Patanjali get all this from? Why is the Yoga Sutra considered a Bible today for all the yogis of the world? Anybody who wants to attain this higher consciousness or higher intelligence is looking at the Yoga Sutra. So, Paramahansa Yogananda shows the link. So that is going to be covered in the second part. And the link is related to the names of the warriors. That is the most fascinating part. Kripa means something. Drona means something. It's a yogic quality, either negative or positive. We will see that all the Kauravas are showing negative qualities like avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, panchakleshas. all these things. And all the names of, when you break the names according to the roots, the Pandava kings' names, Yudhana, Virata, all are showing positive qualities. And this is where they got it from. He got it from by meditating on the Gita. So, Sri Paramahansa Yogananda says that, things like the Gita or any scripture for that matter cannot be understood just by reading, just by chanting. Of course, chanting has its benefits because it creates the vibrations, higher vibrations within the body, calming the mind, and things like that. But then it also, if you want to intellectually understand it, you have to go into dhyana. You have to meditate on each stanza, and then it awakens. The meaning of that stanza awakens. He says nididhyasana. So Shravana, Manana, nididhyasana. That is when it awakens, and you will get the real meaning of the Gita or the Bhagavatam or anything like that. Okay, so these munis were not ordinary souls. They didn't just write. They had meanings, layers of meanings. So this is two parts. The third part discusses the samadhis. What is samprajnata samadhi? What is asamprajnata samadhi? And how it is related to the conch shells that they are blowing in the Gita. So Simhanadam Vinodyasche Shankadhadmo Pratapavan. So then you hear Poundra Dadma Mahashanko, Bhima Karma Vrakodara, Ananta Vijayam Raja, Kunti Putro Yudhishthira. All the Shankar giving. He's wanting to talk about yoga, how to attain self-realization. So then this is the third part we discuss, and then we'll do the discussions. We can't go into the details. So three fundamental parts of Vyasa Kootas we'll cover today. Now, the very fascinating part about this Vyasa Koota is Vedavyasa Mahamuni, he gives the Vyasa Kootas completely about what are the principles of attaining these higher and higher states of consciousness. So like Swami Vivekananda says, education is the manifestation of the knowledge that is already existing within the soul. I and you are complete. By ourselves, we are complete. We don't need any external feeding. But to attain that completeness, for the completeness to come out, we need to awaken our subtle soul, our causal body, our divine ego. The chitta has to be awakened. That is what Patanjali says. And from there, that is how our ancient civilizations lived. Today we keep seeing so many videos. How did they have, Vaimanika Shastra? How did they know about machines? How did they know about what is happening in the body at Pinde, Tat Brahmande? They knew everything because these rishis knew what was there in the soul. They had awakened the causal body. And that is where human civilization is moving when we move higher and higher up. So coming back to the Vyasa Kootas, then we'll have the discussions. So Muni Vedavyasa gives these Vyasa Kootas everything very, very concise and very, very summary manner in the first chapter. Then he explains what is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. And he, even in the fourth chapter and fifth chapter, the many Vyasa Kootas, he talks about how to attain different types of realizations. He talks about Kriya Yoga. He talks about different types of Raja Yoga. So that we're not going to cover, maybe some other time. And then he concludes how man will attain his final goal in life. And until we attain, we'll keep coming back because we have to attain that higher consciousness in order to escape the dense Mayic world and become free-flowing souls. So that is the gist. So now let me start with the presentation. And in between, I request you to pause the videos. We'll park it, or you can write it down. Or if it's a question which is pertinent at that moment, we will cover it right there. Otherwise, we'll take it at the end. So now I'll open the presentation, and the whole thing will be based on presentations. So you can ask me anything in between anywhere. So I'll switch off my video so that we'll observe the presentations. So I am presently doing my final year at Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhana Samsthana. I didn't introduce myself, sorry. I've also worked as a corporate trainer at various corporates, like I've taken classes at Satyam, Capgemini, Goldman Sachs, Manipal Hospitals, Infosys, Wipro, and various other corporates before, and of course, various other places as corporate trainer, where I used to teach many subjects like team building, attitude management, various subjects like that. I also taught as an assistant professor for 2 years in a college, strategic management and marketing management. So that is my brief analysis. So this is, and the topic today is Yogic Principles Concealed as Vyasa Kootas, Bhagavad Gita, Revelations of Paramahansa Yogananda. So who gave the Vyasa Kootas in the present world are these great Mahavtars. Most of us have heard of Mahavtar Babaji. He's a 2,500-year-old, still living Siddhar. We have heard of the Siddhars who are still alive, Mahavtar Babaji. Am I not visible, sir? Sorry, I didn't share the PPT.
No,
Not video.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just switched off. Okay, somebody shipped up. I started the video, but is it 1 second? Is it, it's visible now, no? Visible now, sir?
Now
yes,
it is come.
yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Just a minute. So just go back. So I'm presently studying here. I just introduced myself. Then we came to this slide. So these are the masters, present masters of Kriya Yoga, Mahavtar Babaji. In 1833, he told Lahari Mashya on the right side, we have heard, to give the Kriya Yoga, which is a very ancient technique of practicing a kind of awakening of the Kundalini in the spine to progress humanity in this coming civilization. Scientifically progress very quickly, not slowly. The other parts are very slow. So this is what Mahavtar Babaji told Lahari Mashya, who brought Kriya Yoga, who then had many disciples. You're aware of it. Most professors here, I have heard of it. I'm sure of that, especially in the belt of UP, West Bengal, Northern India. It's very, very prevalent. There are many disciples. Who gave it to Swami Shri Yukteswarji? Swami Shri Yukteswarji was also an exalted saint. He's called a Jnana Avatar. He trained Paramahansa Yogananda, and in the year 1915, Paramahansa Yogananda, so Mahavtar Babaji visited Paramahansa Yogananda and asked him to take Kriya Yoga to the West. All the Paramahansa Yogananda, you know how the yogis are, wanted to go off to the Himalayas and live in the bliss. He said, no, you have to give this bliss to the world. There's no point living in the Himalayas. You have, because millions are there. What's the point if they don't give it to the people? So that's what started. And these involved, yes, sir?
Vanamala, go
Yes.
to the present. If you go to the presentation mode, which is
Yeah.
in the bottom,
Yeah.
what will happen is that particular screen will become bigger and everybody can read it better.
It
And
is.
then
It's not. It's not in presentation. It is in the presentation mode, sir. It's not.
no, this is when you actually want to pull in slides and all that. It's in edit mode, so you can go
No.
at the bottom. If you see
No.
bottom left,
Yeah, it is in. I thought I have gone to presentation mode, sir. Can somebody else also comment? Arunaji is here. Deepak is here. Is it not in presentation mode? No, I think that is a Dash, sir, or Om Prakash, sir. You have to. Om, sir,
No,
you.
it is in presentation mode.
It
It is
is in
in
the
I'll tell
presentation
you.
mode. Yes,
Presentation
presentation mode.
mode, very much presentation.
Moving. The slides are not moving.
No, they are moving. No, moving. It's that second slide that's sees there. Third slide.
Okay.
They are
Okay,
moving. They are
okay.
moving.
Okay.
It is on slideshow. It is on slideshow. Only thing is, I think it is not showing there. Interesting. I don't know. It is on
it's
see.
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's a controlled presentation. You are doing slide by slide. That is okay.
No. Come here. Look at this. I've switched this on. See, it's on slideshow. I don't know. Maybe in that not showing. Huh? Okay.
Madam, you're fine, madam. Carry on, madam. Carry on.
Okay.
No issue. Okay.
Okay. So I was talking about the Mahagurus, and recently, 1946, this great book was published. It's influenced millions people across the world who say that our spiritual journey does not start without completing the autobiography. Fascinatingly, autobiography talks about Sanatana Dharma, the possibilities of a human consciousness. The possibilities of a human consciousness that is moving at a very slow pace, like a tortoise. That entire Sanatana Dharma is concise manner, written by a completely realized soul, first time in English. That is in the autobiography, which is why it fascinates millions of people, especially people who are awakening and who are asking questions. The new generation are very fascinated. And most of the Vyasa Kootas are from the book God Talks with Arjuna, which is again a very massive 1,500 page 2 volume interpretation of the Vyasa Kootas, where Paramahansa Yogananda says towards the end of the 9th chapter and 10th chapter, it is simply impossible to sit and break the Vyasa Kootas in the 10th chapter, which is the Vibhuti Yoga. Why? Because if I break it, then I'll have to write 12 volumes more. So that is the reason why the book Jaya, the Gita was called Jaya, right? The book Jaya is studied by the astral beings, who are the angels, devas, as well as the causal beings. So when we die and when we go to the astral world as spiritual beings, we are going to continue studying the Gita, but layers and layers of the Gita. So the part 1, the story of Mahabharata. So this is the story of Mahabharata. We all know. For those of you who don't know, most of you would be knowing, there was a king Shantanu. He married Ganga. Ganga gave children, 8 children. 7 of them she drowned. 1 of them continued to live. But why? Is there a reason? Then he falls in love with Satyavati.
Do you have a slide for this, madam? Do you have a slide for this?
Yes, sir.
But the slide is not there.
It's not visible.
No, the slide is the other slide. The previous slide is visible.
Slides are
Not moving.
slides.
They're not moving.
Slides are not moving.
Oh, really, sir?
Sir, madam, you go with your slides.
No, I think there is some bug in my laptop.
Part 1. Yes, part 1 story of Mahabharata. Next slide, madam. Please, next slide.
This is coming?
Yes. Now.
Yes.
Now it's coming? Okay, now let me put in slideshow. Okay, now if you see this, sir, very simple. You have Shantanu, he's married to Ganga, she goes away because he stops her. You know the story. There are 8 children. She puts 9 in the water. The king gets angry, says, "What are you doing?" Her condition for marriage is that you will not stop me from doing anything, and she goes away. So then he marries Satyavati. You know the story of how Satyavati, Bhishma and all come. Bhishma takes that vratam, that shapath, because of and he says, "I will be an eternal brahmachari." So there stops Bhishma's santan. There's no Bhishma ke niche, there's nothing. So why is it like this? We'll go to it. Now just quickly explain. Satyavati had 3 children. Vyasa went earlier through Parashara Muni. And then she had Chitrangada and Vichitravirya from Shantanu. Most of the people say the king was old, Satyavati was young. So Chitrangada, when an old person gives rise to the children are not so strong. So then, Chitrangada and Vichitravirya die because he fights with that Gandharva. And Vichitravirya, because Vichitravirya, he also dies. But there is a deeper meaning. And then Vichitravirya is married to Ambika and Ambalika, Kashi Raja's children. That also has a reason. What is the meaning of Kashi? What is the meaning of Ambika? What is the meaning of Ambalika? Ambika say, when Vyasamuni copulates with them through Niyoga, Dhritarashtra is born. And when Vyasamuni copulates with Ambika, Pandu is born. What is the meaning? So then why Vyasa has to come? So that also has a reason. Then Dhritarashtra is married to Gandhari. He also has relations with Vaishya, his second wife, whom he considers, from whom Yuyutsu is born. Now, if you remember the story, Yuyutsu is the son of Vaishya, but he fights against the Kauravas along with the Pandavas. Why does this happen? Gandhari, she gives rise to children, 100 children. What is the meaning of the 100 children? Pandu is Kunti and Madri, wives. Kunti gives rise to 3 children, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva. Okay, what is the meaning of Kunti invoking the gods through mantras and getting children? What is the meaning of Pandu? Having that curse on him. Everything has a meaning. And why 1 wife for 5 husbands? So this Paramahansa Yogananda explains. Very interesting. Shantanu is, quickly we'll do this. Shantanu is Parabrahman, Sat Parabrahman, transcendental Godfather, who is called Allah or God in English, who does not interact every day in our everyday lives. You know that. And then there are 2 aspects to Shantanu, which is Sat Parabrahman has Tat and Kshara Akshara. He says in the 15th chapter, Akshara Parabrahma, he says that I have 2 parts to me. Akshara and Kshara. The Akshara part of me is called Chaitanya, or Kutastha Chaitanya we call it. And then the Kshara part of it, which can get absorbed back into him, get destroyed, is the primordial nature of creation. So then what? So Ganga is symbolic of Chaitanya, consciousness. You can see nature as intelligence, Mahaprakriti or Holy Ghost. In English, it's called Holy Ghost. So Satyavati is primordial nature as matter. So from her 24 tattvas come from Satyavati, which we heard we've studied in Sankhya philosophy. Now what happens to Ganga? Why this drama of 8 children? Everything is a drama. So if you see, there are fundamentally, Paramahansa Yogananda says, there are 8 principles which are creating creation, forces in the creation. So in the physical world, we have Virata, and we have Virata in the macrocosmic universe, and Vishwa, which is upholding the microcosmic universe. In the astral world, which is the subtle Sukshma Jagat, we have Hiranyagarbha and Tejas. And in the causal universe, or the Karana, Karana cosmos, Brahmand, in the English, Sanskrit words, Karana Brahmand, you have Prajna and God himself, Ishvara, who is managing the macrocosmic and microcosmic beings. Now, these are the 6 governing intelligences of forces. And the most important amongst them is Kutastha Chaitanya, which is governing all the 6 intelligences. And out of Kutastha Chaitanya comes Ahamkara. Ahamkara is the fundamental principle of I-ness, that I am existing. That conscious awareness that I am existing. So what we add to it is later. At the causal universe, Paramahansa Yogananda says, I just come to be aware that I am existing as a separate entity from Kutastha, or the consciousness, the universal consciousness. And that is the beginning of a soul. And after that, he adds on light and energy onto himself. He comes into the subtle universe, which is the Sukshma Jagat, astral world. From there, he wants to experience more of creation. He becomes a human or a physical being. It can be any physical being. There are billions and billions of physical beings. That's what is explained in the Mahabharata. So that is the 8 children. Now, fascinating. Why did 7 die? Because Paramahansa Yogananda says 7 are not visible to a man. They are dipped in the ocean, means they are sunk into the ocean of consciousness. Unless we are standing above them at the level of Kutastha Chaitanya as a yogi or as a master like Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Shirdi Sai Baba, we can't see this. Because, for example, Einstein gave the example of, theory of gravity, and the theory of relativity. But before him, were these things not existing? They were. Gravity was there. Lights, the speed of light as a constant was existing. Mass was existing. Everything was existing. But he identified it. Why? Because his intellect went to that level. Similarly, these Chaitanyas, or these forces, gravity, electromagnetism, similarly, these 6 intelligences exist, but we can't really measure them. That's what Paramahansa Yogananda says. So these are the 7. But the 8th one appears as Ahamkara in you and me. It is the fundamental Aham. So it continues to live. But Aham, Paramahansa Yogananda says, it modifies itself. Like, for example, today I don't have pure Aham. I am a Vanamala. I am a wife of someone. I am a mother of someone. I have these bhavas, meaning I am attaching myself to so many things. I am a human. I am a woman. That pure Aham is not there. It is attached to so many other karakas. So I relate to this world only using those karakas. So when we die and go, some of those karakas will disappear. We will be in the Sukshma Jagat, but we'll have other karakas there. We'll have a huge soul group of 200 other attachments. And when we leave the astral world and go to the causal world, that is when the pure Aham comes. This is very fascinatingly explained why Bhishma cannot be killed in the war. Because Aham is a part of universal consciousness, Kutastha Chaitanya itself. It cannot be destroyed. It is only when Bhishma goes and tells Arjuna, who is self-control, we'll come to the symbolism. Arjuna, he tells him, look, I'm fed up. I'm going to give up. You guys rule the war. You win the war. Meaning the Aham has to decide to leave. Meaning you and me have to decide to leave. Detach yourself from this world and say, okay, I have experienced 100 lives on earth. I have done with these dramas. Now I want moksha. And when does it happen? When the soul has realized that it is not worth the pain and the struggles we are going through. So Bhishma goes after the, I think, in the 11th or 12th day of the war, and he tells, till there he is literally invincible. If Bhishma had continued fighting 100 days also, Arjuna wouldn't have fought, because he cannot be killed also. Ichchamarani. So what happens? He tells Arjuna, bring Shikhandi. I will never fight a person like that. Either a eunuch or a female, I will never fight. I have a shapat. So he brings Shikhandi and Shikhandi stands in front of Arjuna, and Bhishma cannot fight because he cannot shoot. What is the meaning? Shikhandi is not male, not female. So the aham or the soul is not female nor male. It's only the karakas that is male or female. Guru Paramahansa Yogananda says. Now, when you put the Shikhandi, in the sense when
We have lost your voice, Vanamala.
am I not audible, sir? Again?
Now audible, madam. Now audible.
Oh, I
Madam,
came
actually,
on.
the slides are not moving. Maybe it's the genealogy tree is still there because I'm not able to see the complete picture. Slides.
Yeah, no. Actually, what happened is, sir, this one again, the electricity, that is what, whenever we do spiritual things, Guru always says that, that this one goes, Maya plays a game. So today only electricity is going and coming, otherwise it never did.
Okay. No issue.
Is it visible now? Is it visible now? No.
It has gone.
No.
It has gone. It's not totally
Okay. Okay, I think it should come now. I've just come online. Yeah, okay. Okay, I will continue speaking. Has it come, sir? Has it come, sir?
Yes, madam. Yes. Carry
Sorry.
on.
Yeah,
No. Carry on, madam.
Yeah.
We are going on fine. Madam, carry on.
Okay. Is it visible? Oh.
Yes, no.
Oh. Sorry. I know why this is happening, but check. Okay.
Visible now.
Yes, sir. Just a minute. Okay, sir. Okay, so we're talking about Bhishma. Okay, we stop there. Bhishma has to decide to leave the universe, and that's when he will move on to the causal universes. Till then, we keep coming back because the Aham wants to experience and enjoy. So he has to decide. He's a Chamarani. He has to decide to leave. So it's I and you. Our physical consciousness has to decide to leave. The astral consciousness has to decide to leave, and the causal consciousness has to stop wanting to experience and enjoy in this universe, and that is detachment. Okay, now coming to Satyavati. She is nature. She's 24 elements, which is called Chitrangada, the first son, Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva is broken down. He dies in the beginning. Chitrangada quickly dies within 17 years or something. He dies. Why he dies? Because Paramahansa Yogananda says, Yogananji says that Mahat Tattva breaks down. We still can't see Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. It breaks down and becomes visible only in the physical universe. The Mahatvata is existing as a blueprint even in the causal. But in the causal universe, it is not visible. So, Chitrangada dies symbolically. Now, Vichitra Virya is Chitta. The Mahattattva, the fundamental expression of it is feeling or Chitta. Chitta wants to experience the creation. So it's a kind of a fundamental consciousness, very similar to Bhishma only. But it also, Patanjali explains in the Yoga Sutras that Chitta as such does not interact with the world, but it uses the instruments of Mana, Buddhi, Aham to interact. A very different type of Aham, not the pure Aham of Kootas Chaitanya, but a different type. So Chitta uses these instruments. You can think of Chitta as a football field with so many buildings on it, all these buildings, something coming out of the mana, buddhi, aham and all is coming out. So you can't see the football field from a distance. You can see the buildings like that. So manas will react with the world. Buddhi reacts with the world. Aham also interacts with the world, but a little backstage. So now, coming back to what is Vyasa. Vyasa is the power of the Chitta to discriminate between positivity and negativity. That is, positive discriminating faculty, relativity, discriminating the relativity. Meaning, when I come as a soul into this world, if I'm not using manas and buddhi and all, I cannot see anything, I cannot feel, I cannot touch. I have to create some tentacles. I'm closing my eyes, I'm moving around the house. I want to touch and feel. So I want some faculties of perception. So that fundamental force behind that faculty of perception is Vyasa. So when this faculty of perception, consciousness of relativity, mixes with Ambika, which is negativity in the universe, because negative and positive two forces are there in creation. When it mixes and identifies with negativity, it creates a blind faculty of perception called Manas, which is Dhritarashtra. That's why Dhritarashtra is blind. And when it mixes with the positive faculty, a positive force which is existing in this universe, which is symbolically Ambalika, it creates something very, very pious and peaceful, like Buddhi, intelligence, wisdom, what we all are doing now, Pandu. So that's how. Now, Gandhari is the power of desires. Because I am blind, I want to experience only external things. I want only outside. When Buddhi is Nivritti, it wants what is inside. It knows what is inside is greater. So that's why he becomes ascetic, very young. Kunti is and Nivritti, people with Nivritti are dispassionate about the world. They're not so interested in partying, enjoying, going out. Whereas people with Dhritarashtra, that is the Manas, are very interested in desires. And there is an attachment. Madhuri is attached to, the dispassion, fanatically dispassionate. I don't want this world. That is Madhuri. That is why she dies. Her husband dies, she just goes away. Vaishya, she is attached to desires, but this is very fascinating. She gets a son called Yuyutsu, psychological battle within. I give you an example. Gandhari has 100 evil children. What are these evil children? Yogananda says that we have 5 jnanendriyas and 5 karmendriyas. Total is 10. Now he says, yogically, from every of these sense organs, whether it is from the eyes or nose or mouth or hand, each man can do 10 evil things. Now the list is given there. It's a very massive list. You should read Lahari Mashia's, this one, we're not going to. So we can do 100 evil things in this world using these sense organs. Those are the Kauravas. Now what happens? For example, take the habit. Any habit. Like a habit of, any habit you take, a habit of drinking, let's say. A person drinks himself to death. And he drinks himself to death in 3 lives. Then what happens? Yogananda says, in 1 life, he gets fed up. It's called satiation. When he gets satiated, he looks at a drink, he wants to throw it out. He says, I'm fed up with this. I want something else. And that's Yuyutsu. The awakening of the desire to fight evil within myself, because we are fundamentally good. We are fundamentally children of God. So that is Yuyutsu. That's why he stands on the Pandava side. Now Buddhi awakens and he gets 5 children. Yudhishthira is the Vishuddha Chakra, the ether element. Bhima is the heart chakra, the Vayu Tattva. Arjuna is the Tejas element in the stomach, self-control. Nakula is the water element in the Swadhisthana chakra. Sahadeva is the earth element in the Moola. Ali of somebody comes and tells her, do this yoga, because all the Pandavas are practicing yoga and all those 12 years. They're very busily doing tapas. That's how they get their power. When they're in Vanavasa. That was also a game why they had to go, because they had to create that human, higher consciousness. So Draupadi doesn't. She's busy cleaning, cooking, doing the things. So Krishna comes and tells that, okay, I will teach you something. You do this. It is very good for higher consciousness. She says, she listens properly, and then Krishna goes to the forest every day. Krishna, Lord, If I can take away my mind from your feet even for a single fraction, then I can sit and practice this yoga. So that was her dedication. It is a very high. Bhakti is the highest dedication. Ekantin, the capability to leave the entire world for the feet of Lord. Draupadi had it. So she is Kula Kundalini, only the wife of the Purusha, which is Shiva Shakti. Only she has that power to love her husband so intensely, Mahashakti herself. So she is symbolic of that. And she goes and unites with all the 5 Pandavas. And at each Pandava, she gets one child. And they are called as Draupadeya children. The siddhis that we get when the Draupadi awakens. So the Kundalini goes. And when she meets there, Krishna, life force advances and merges in Kutas the Chaitanya, Agnya, Krishna. Kula Kundalini, life force Draupadi, rises through the 5 chakras and awakens the Kauravas. Now, there were huge warriors mentioned. Paramahansa Yogananda says this is the beautiful picture of recently you might have heard that Los Angeles.
When the slides are not moving actually. We're in the same slide. We're in the same slide. Now moved. Yes.
Now moving, sir. Some bug, I think, sir, on the computer. Now you will be visible. It's visible, sir, now?
Yes, madam. Now it is visible. Visible.
This is the beautiful picture of Lake Shrine, which is now, you've heard of Los Angeles fires. The background is Lake Shrine that was donated, a 12-acre property in the prime of Los Angeles, donated at $1 by a filmmaker to Paramahansa Yogananda. He told him that God came in a vision and told him to donate. I'm sidetracking. So that barren hill is full of greenery. Yoganandaji created a beautiful ashram there. What is very fascinating, you could go to the Google now. Entire Los Angeles was catching fire, Pacific Palisades, but this ashram, nothing happened. So this is a real miracle that has happened in the last 2 weeks. The ashram created by Yoganandaji. Now that is, I sidetracked to the story. Now, so the message of Bhagavad Gita does not refer to one historical battle alone. It is a cosmic conflict between good and evil. Life is a series of battles between spirit and matter, soul and the body boundedness, life and death, knowledge and ignorance, health and disease, changelessness, transitoriness, self-control and temptations, discrimination and the blind Dhritarashtra, which is a sense mind. Man's daily battles also include biological, hereditary, bacteriological, physiological, climatic, social, ethical, political, sociological, psychological, metaphysical. Yoganandaji goes on and says the Gita's aim is to align man with righteousness, which is dharma. Goal is self-realization, knowing your true self. Until we attain that soul realization, soul made in the image of God, we'll keep coming back. And that's why we're coming back. Maybe 1,000 lives we've already finished. And this 84 lakh, 84 lakh yoni. So Paramahansa Yogananda also goes on to say that every external war is the manifestation of your internal war. If there is a war between Putin and Netanyahu in Israel and Russia, that is because there is so much internal war happening in the people there, in the president himself who's bombing. So if the internal turmoils become silent, then the external wars will stop. And that is man fights this internal war. Victory means samadhi, complete awareness of soul consciousness. So what are the 3 wars? Typically, the Gita talks about 3 wars, he says. The first one is the Kurukshetra war, which Kuru means body, Kri means activity, work happening on the body. Kshetra means field. This is the material war. It's also called Adi Bhautika. It works with social duties, Bhautika Deha, basically physical body. So you can see in the picture there on the left side, body, Kurukshetra, moral war. Every day we have to fight our wars internally in our mind. Should I eat or overeat? Should I eat less or should I go fasting? Should I tell this or should I not tell this? Should I, we have this war constantly. So that is the basic war we are fighting. The second war is the Dharmakshetra Kurukshetra. If you know, Dhritarashtra asks, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyut. He doesn't ask Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyut, or he doesn't say Dharmakshetra. He says Dharmakshetra. Normal interpretation, people will say, why? Because Kurukshetra was where Dharma was happening. It has a deeper meaning. Paramahansa Yogananda says, psychological war is happening. Where is it happening? It's happening in the spine. Every time we lose self-control from Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and lose the prana from obviously lower processes. War, as Kauravas have won. Manipura Chakra, overeating. Who has won? Kauravas have won. Anahata Chakra, extreme attachment to things, excessive attachment to people. Anahata Chakra. is under war. Kauravas have won. Vishuddha Chakra, restless talking, constant talking, or constantly, doing that and this, unable to sit still. Vishuddha Chakra, Kauravas have won. Positive, and the Pandavas will. It's not coming. Something is wrong with the laptop. Now it's coming. I'll use this mode only. So you see, and then this is the astral war, which is happening in the chakras, prana and senses. Sukshma deha mein ho raha hai, moral and psychological, between habits and desires that we have had. So it's all happening in the spine. So the essentially the Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra means the spine. He says, you see that Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra is a spinal chakras. Then you have the Dharma Kshetra. Dharma Kshetra is a very high war. Yogananda says it's a spiritual war which happens in a yogi's mind. You're meditating full of thoughts. You can't even dissolve those thoughts. It takes years and years. Everyone who meditates knows that. So then it goes on to understanding manas, understanding buddhi, understanding aham, and then understanding chitta, then moving beyond chitta, trying to understand the soul, then understanding the Brahma, beyond the soul, all this. So this is the war which is happening in the yogi's head. Now, we have not reached that state yet. And then that is a spiritual Adhyatmika war which is being fought in the Kumbh Mela today by the yogis. Okay, we'll also have a time. We'll also become yogis, maybe after 10, 15 lives. Then we will be fighting this Karana war, which is the Karana Sharira. So Kurukshetra was, this we already explained, two armies are Manas and Buddhi. Pandava means, Pand means white, means it is awake, causally awakened chakras. Panda means white. The white is purity. Pandavas are the nivritti, renunciation, habits of renunciation in the spine, spinal chakras. They come from purity, Pandu. Dhritarashtra is a sense mind. The Dhartram Rashtram Yena, one who upholds the kingdom, who holds the reins of the kingdom. What is the kingdom? Kingdom of the senses. The body is ruled by the senses. And the reins are Dhritarashtra. It's blind. Reins are those threads, those ropes. Kauravas are children of pravritti, worldly enjoyment. So then you have the body is the chariot. We are Katha Upanishad, all the Upanishads, so many of them mention this. We all know it. Manas receives perceptions from the senses, gives it to Buddhi. Buddhi gives instructions to the senses. Manas is blind, it can't understand anything. So how can, that is why he can't counsel his children at all. He can't counsel. But Buddhi will counsel. Buddhi will guide the chariot of the body. Now, who's the ruler? Soul is the ruler behind the Buddhi. So if the senses are wild, and the reins are not held straight, and the buddhi is not ruling, then the body will be wild. Then Sanjaya. Sanjaya means Samjaya, Paramahansa Yogananda says, completely victorious. Now, what are Patanjali Yoga Sutras? This is heavy stuff. So I expect most of you would be aware of some sutras of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. If any questions so far, you can ask me. If not, we'll go ahead. Now, Patanjali instituted Yoga Sutras. From the words of Bhagavan Krishna. Yoga Sutras come from the Gita. This was the revelation by Yogananda. Tadadrishta Swarupe Avasthanam. Shraddha. The Patanjali Yoga Sutras, we don't go into the detail. First one says, yoga will happen when the drishtu, that is whoever is seeing, he abides in his own self within. Then, if you want to attain this yoga, you need some qualities. What are the yogic qualities? He says, Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, Prajna Puraka Itaresham, then Tivra Samveganam Asannaha. It is nearest for if you have Tivra Samvega. Now, this is the fascinating part you will get. The same thing, Sanskrit roots you will see, the words are, in Gita, you will see Atra Shura Maheshwasa Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi, who Duryodhana tells. In the war, भीम और अर्जुन के सम युद्ध करने वाले हैं वहां पे. कौन कौन है? युयोधानो, विराटश्च, द्रुपदश्च, महारथ, दृष्टकेतु is Chekitana, Kashi Raja is there. They're all Viryas, Viryavan, I mean, full of power. Purujit is there, Kunti Bhoja is there, Shaibya is there. These are all Narapungava, greatest amongst humans, men. Yudhamanyu is there, he's a Vikranta. Then Uttamaojas is there, and he's also Viryavan. Then Saubhadracha is Abhimanyu, very scared of Abhimanyu. Who talks too much? Guruji asks in that. When a person is fearful, he speaks. Draupadi asked, the children of Draupadi, all are Maharathas. You know the meaning of Maharata already, having so many Rathas and all. Why does he explain Duryodhana so much about his own army, but only one shloka about his army, but 3 shlokas about, he will come to that. This is interesting. Patanjali's yogic qualities for higher wisdom are Pandava kings. Like Shraddha is Yuyudhana. We'll not go into the details. If you want to cover later on, or you can see it in the book, Yudham Chaitanya Prakasiyitum Eshena Abhilashamana iti. One who has a desire, that's a definition explaining the root word of Yudh, coming from how Yudhana is devotion and how devotion helps in awakening the soul consciousness. Yoga union, So then Uttama Ojas. Uttama Ojas. Uttama means principle, Ojas means energy, that. Uttama Ojas meaning Virya, celibacy. Then you have Chekitana, memory, Smriti. Sit, to appear. Paramahansa Yogananda, Chiketi Janati iti. The definition, according to Panini's grammar, every word has to be defined. So he derives the definition, shows Chekitana is memory. Virata is Samadhi, that way. And Kashi Raja. Kashi is apparently shining. Raja is king. Shining Raja is Prajna. When a person is very highly, Prajna is higher intellect. It's not just studies. So the face of the person shines. The eyes show beautiful knowledge. So that's Prajna. It's coming from the causal knowledge. So that is Kashi Raja. He's explained very beautifully. You must please read it. Drupada is Tivra Samvega. How? Drutam Padam. Drutam is fast moving. Who moves fast? I want self-realization. I want God in this life. That is Drutam Padam Yasya iti. One who wants to walk very fast. That is Tivra Samvega. So like that. So Ashtanga Yoga are Pandava kings, he says. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Prana, Yama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, Yo Ashtangani, he says. Yama, Niyama. So these are the 8 limbs of yoga. So you want higher consciousness, you have to practice this. Who are they? They are also kings. Paramahansa Yogananda says, Drishtaketu is Yama. Shaibya is Niyama. Kunti Bhoja is Asana. Explains very beautifully how Kunti Bhoja is the father of Kunti. Kunti, when she was born, she was taken over from her father to Kunti Bhoja. Kunti Bhoja is the brother of Kunti's father. Kunti is very dispassionate. She goes and goes into Kunti Bhoja's king and stays as the child because he doesn't have children. So Kunti Bhoja holds a child in the lap. So that is symbolic of Asana. Adopted Kunti. Ena kuntim kuna amantrana daiva vibhuti akarshika shaktim bhunakti palayate sayeti. One who takes possession and supports the spiritual force. Kunti, why she becomes the cause of the awakening of the causal chakra. Kunti Bhoja is hence asana. So when you have attained asana siddhi, you can practice intense pranayama. So this goes on into too much. Pranayama, pratyahara, and then you have dharana dhyana samadhi. Yeah? Dharana dhyana samadhi is antaranga yoga, which is samyama. So Paramahansa Yogananda says pranayama is yudhamanyu, purujit is pratyahara. Now, dharana dhyana samadhi, why is Abhimanyu feared? A 16-year-old is feared by all these people like Drona and all these Maharathis. Why? Because he is symbolic of dharana dhyana samadhi. When this happens, there is no more negativity. There is only Brahma inside the body. Samyama. Abhisarvatra manute prakashati iti. One whose intensely concentrating mind shines everywhere, revealing everything internal. So that is the light of intuition, which is powerful and it shines and it gives the jati, desha, kala, lakshana of anything. Like Patanjali says, no, when you see Himalayas, it is for you it is Himalaya, but actually it is not Himalaya. You have to meditate, do samyama on the Himalaya. You will know the jati, desha, kala, lakshana. You will know the history, how the electrons are moving, causing those things, how it is combined. What is that actually mountain made of in the Sukshma Jagat? Causal blueprint in the Karana Jagat, how that Himalaya looks. That is the Jati, Desha, Kala, Samaya. It is also related to the 4th dimension, what Einstein says. No? Time. Himalaya is not there 1 million, but maybe in the Gondwana time. It is not going to be there perhaps after billions of years. So we'll also relate to the time. So all that comes through Samyama. Abhimanyu is very powerful. He's called self-mastery. That is, and he comes out a son of self, stomach chakra, that is Arjuna's son, very powerful. The siddhis of the 5 chakras are which give awakened by Kundalini. That is the children of Draupadi. We discussed this. Drishtadyumna is light of intuition. Drishta is to see, confident. Dyumna is splendor, light, truth of intuition. So Yogananda says very interesting. He says Drishtadyumna is made the chief of the Pandava army in the beginning against Bhishma. Why a small boy against an old man? Because he's such a powerful. If you have to take on ego, you have to have some level of yogic meditation. You should have had some power of yogic power within, which is Drishtadimna. It is only that kind of light of internal awakened intuition can take on ego and say, no, I am detached from this world. I want to go within. I want to awaken my higher consciousness. Pandavas are Shat Sampatti. We've heard of it, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, and then we've heard of Shraddha and Samadhi. This is very interesting. This itself, we can take one class. It's how Sahadeva is Dama, Mooladhara Chakra. Sama, the controlling Nakula, water element in Swadhisthana. Arjuna is Uparati and Titiksha both. That is why Duryodhana is so scared of them. See, the internal evil people, which we have evil tendencies, very scared of positive tendencies. So Uparati is one who's rising above the rest. Rati is to enjoy. So I am not enjoying the worldly things anymore, which is the Swadhisthana and the lower chakras, but I am sitting above the other enjoyments. I am enjoying in meditation. I am enjoying Bhagavad Kirtana. I am enjoying Katha. That is Uparati. Titiksha means complete self-control with this world. I have no desires of this world. Titiksha, Arjuna is symbolic of that. Now you see why is hero. Bhima is pranayama, shraddha, divine devotion awakening in the heart. Yudhishthira is samadhana, calmness. So you see, Patanjali says when you have intense love, Maitriya, Dishubalani, if you have intense universal love, you get intense physical power. Bhima was very powerful. Symbolic of the heart chakra, having intense love. He was the only one who loved Draupadi. He was the only one who did not marry after marrying Draupadi. Everyone else married again. You may say, okay, that lady, that Rakshasi was there, but before Draupadi, he never marries. He tells her, I am the one who loves you more, but you love Arjuna more. He knows that also. Okay, so that love in the heart, he's symbolic. Yudhishthira has power of truth speaking, Samadhana, Vishuddha Chakra. See, Vishuddha Chakra relation can speak truth, very quiet, very calm, all the time. That is why he could win the war. Guruji says calmness is very important. Krishna is symbolic of three things. Atma Chaitanya in the Brahmarandra. He is Kutastha Chaitanya in the Agni Chakra, and he is Brahma Chaitanya in the Sahasrara. So he's also Guru of the Pandavas. Now Kauravas, what are they? Kleshas. Patanjali says, which are the Kleshas? Klesha Karma Vipaka Ashair Aparamrishta Purusha Vishesha Ishvara. Brahma is a person who does not have Kleshas, Karma, Vipaka and Ashaya. Most of us are aware what are Kleshas. Kleshas are fundamental troubles inherent in creation. Karma is what I keep doing all the time, causing new karma to happen. Vipaka is that karma which goes within and stays in the subtle memory. That is Vipaka, and which jo pakke bahar nikalta, like a ripe fruit. Then Ashaya is that which gets imprinted as a vasana very deep in the causal memory, causal universe. They say marriage is made in causal universe. Not because we love each other, but because we have so much to give and take and learn from each other. So it's a vasana or an Ashaya. So these are the Kauravas. Then for the Kleshas, he explains Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha, Pancha Kleshaha. Yes. So God is free from these imperfections. Those imperfections are the evils. And they are the Kaurava army. He says, Duryodhana says, Bhavan, that's yourself. Bhishma is there, Karna is there, Kripa is there. Samitinjaya, they also win all the time. Ashwathama is there, Vikarna is there, Saumadatti. And Saumadatti is Tataivacha. There's another person there. And then Anyecha Bahavaja. There are other Shuras. Who are the other Shuras? Let us look. Kripa is Avidya. Bhishma is Asmita. I'll not go and explain that. We'll spend too much time deriving. We understand the meaning, that's enough. Karna is Raga. Vikarna is Dvesha. Jayadratha is Abhinivesha. Then you have Bhurishavas, who is Karma. This is very interesting how he explains Bhurishavas. Yogananda says, Bhuri Bahulam Shravaha Ksharanam Yasa Sa Iti. One which keeps on repeating its flow. Karma only. So he says, like an example, like a stream which is flowing. The water is gone off. New water comes. Continuously it's moving. So karma is like that. That is why we are in the wheel of the samsara. So it is a wheel. I keep even good actions repeat itself. Bad actions also repeat itself. So that is how I can't come out of it. So it's a big, massive mess that we got into. So the Drona is habit or sanskara vipaka. Drona is very fascinating. He is the Guru of Pandavas and Kauravas both. Why? Because habit can be good habit as well as bad habit. Fascinating, isn't it? Now, Ashwathama is the son of Drona. What happens when we have a habit, we keep repeating, it goes and stores not in the subtle body, not Sukshma Sharira, but in the causal body. And that becomes a vasana. And that continues life after life, life after life. Any very, very deep habit. That is Ashwatthama. And he never dies. This is very fascinating. Paramahansa Yogananda says Ashwatthama never dies. Why he never dies? Because causal desires don't die. It is through the accumulated causal desires that the next Srishti comes after Pralaya. Next Srishti comes. Because all the causal desires, all the beings, you, me, and billions of beings, get stored in Brahma. And then next Prithvi awakens, that time it comes out. It is from that the Srishti starts again. That is why Ashwatthama symbolically doesn't die. So causal desires don't die. Kauravas are Arishad Vargas. What? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Very interesting the way Duryodham, Yasa. One very difficult to fight. Which is it? The lowest chakra. That is Mooladhara. Dushasana comes from anger, unfulfilled desires of the Swadhisthana chakra. Lobha, Karana Vikarna from the stomach chakra. Moha, attachment happens from Shakuni. Happens from the heart chakra. So you see again chakras are involved even in positive. There's one positive for every chakra. Samadhama, Uparati, Titiksha, Samadhana. Then there's negative. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. Mada from the Shalya and Matsarya from the medulla oblongata. So now we're going to part 3. This is the last part, post which we have discussions. I hope it's okay till here. So we've finished the genealogy chart of their family. Why the family? It has a deeper meaning. Shantanu, Brahma and all. Then now we've finished who are the Pandavas and Kauravas. And Patanjali also has the same Pandava Kauravas. Gita also same. Now this Shankhanath. This is very interesting. A little bit of having an awareness of Samadhi, a little bit of yogic knowledge as well as Yoga Sutras would help a lot. Let me try to make it simpler. Shankhanath. Then towards later, he goes on to explain in the first chapter itself. Sanjaya tells the Drashta, Tasya Sanjanayan Harsham Kuruvruddha Pitamaha Simhanadam Vinadyoshchai Shankha Dhatmo Pratapavan. So to make the Duryodhana happy, the Kuruvruddha, who is he? Bhishma. He goes and blows his shank. Tata Shankhasha Berisha Phanavana Khagomukaha Sahasaiva Hanyanta Sa Shabdo Stumulabha. So everyone in the Kaurava army start beating drums and cymbals and that, and this and everything. So much noise. The war drum. Then what happens? This is very fascinating. Tata Shvetair Hair Yukte Mahatisyandane Stito Madhava Pandavaschaiva Divyo Shanko Pratatmatu. So the Kauravas are making so much noise. First time Madhava enters. You get the goosebumps and Madhava enters. So beautiful. He enters the love and joy when Brahma enters into the war. Your Guru enters and says, enough of this drama. Come out, meditate, get out of this world. You have been stuck in this world for 1,000,000 years. Okay, Pandava, he comes with Pandava, self-control. Arjuna, he is the Sarthi of self-control. And there are five horses. There are no 4 horses. There were 5 horses, Yogananji says. He was the only chariot having 5 horses. Fascinating information. Divyo Shankar. What is the Divya Shankar he is blowing? Panchajanyam Rishikesha. 5 sounds together. Panchajanyam. Awakening of all the 5 chakras. Then Panchajanyam Rishikesha. Controlled senses. Rishikesha means controlled senses. Controlled senses will blow the 5 awakened chakras. Okay. Devadatta Dhananjaya. Devadatta, God-given Shankha is Dhananjaya. This is very fascinating. What's the meaning of the Shankha? Poundram Dhadmo Mahashankha Bhima Karma Vrkodara. Bhima Karma, who's got a wolf kind of appetite, he blows the Poundra Ananta Vijayam Raja. Complete, infinite victory. Who blows? Yudhishthira. Why infinite victory? Nakula Sahadevascha Sughosha. Beautiful sounding. Mani Pushpakau Sahadeva. Why? Let's look at it. Yoga Sutra says 117.18. Vitarka Vichara Ananda Asmita Rupa Anugamat Samprajnata. There are 4 types of fundamental Samprajnata Samadhis: Vitarka, Vichara, Ananda, and Asmita. Then he goes on to say, Virama Pratyaya Abhyasa Purva Samskara Sheshonyaha. Means he says, when you continuously practice the Samprajnata Samadhi, getting into Vitarka, Vichara, Ananda, and Asmita, you will get into a higher consciousness called Asamprajnata Samadhi. So this, what is the difference? Is this the residue of the result of practicing intense vitarka vichara ananda smita? You will get into asampragnata. So these are the shankas. Paramahansa Yogananda says this. He says, okay, I'm going basics about samadhis so that we are aware, we can relate the meanings also. So sampragnata samadhi is achieved by vitarka vichara ananda smita. So see, what happens is when you're meditating and your object, there are three things, about the Triputi. There is an object of concentration, right? So initially when I look at something, when my eyes are closed, I'm visualizing that thing. I'm using my mental faculties. So I'll be using manas. And then I look at it and then I'm interpreting it using buddhi. What is this? Oh, it is a ball or it is Krishna's image. Okay, Krishna looks like this, blue in color. Buddhi is coming. Who told me it's Krishna? It's stored information. I've learned it either this life, some life. So it comes. That's buddhi. Then chitta. I love Krishna. Feeling has come. Asmita. Krishna and I feel united. That feeling of I will give myself up in surrender to Krishna. So using manas, buddhi, chitta and aham to worship in meditation. That is vitarka vichara ananda smita. So Yogananda says, in the vitarka stage of samadhi, you are meditating on Krishna. Let's take that example only. Your experience is mixed with the doubt ridden. Am I seeing Krishna? I'm using the manas because manas is blind. It can't see. Dhritarashtra, no? Am I seeing Krishna? Wait, was it a hallucination? Am I making this up? Or is it actually Krishna's image coming? Then I go into higher state of consciousness, subtle. This is all sukshma when I'm meditating. I start reasoning with the buddhi, even the subtle buddhi, sukshma. I will say, oh yeah, it is Krishna. I'm getting this again and again. When I open my eyes, close my eyes, I see the same image. It is definitely a vision of Bhagavan. So discrimination guided intellect. Then you have Ananda, joy. The chitta fills with heart. I am seeing Lord Krishna. Oh, I feel so good. I have tried to practice seeing him in his subtle form for so many years of meditation. Now I see Ananda fills Sasmita. Then the pure sense of being want to surrender. These are different types of samadhi explained. This is prajna. You're using the prajna. Hence samprajnata samadhi. Then asamprajnata. So I keep practicing samprajnata. Then I go beyond Krishna's form into the invisible form of Brahma. That is asamprajnata samadhi. Superconscious experience. Higher intuition. Okay, so here I don't use manas buddhi aham chitta, whether physical or astral sukshma. I will directly perceive using the soul. My soul is awakened inside. I'm not using human consciousness. That soul, when it awakens, Yogananda says it's so powerful. It does not care whether you're male, female, what. You don't care. You have job, you have house, wife. What happened to Meera when the soul awakened? Did she bother? What happened to Ramana? What Maharshi? What happened to Sai Baba, Shirdi Sai Baba? You look at them. Krishna, Prahasanneva Bharata, always smiling. That mysterious smile. He is not bothered. He'll kill somebody and smile. Whether it's uncle, auntie, doesn't matter. He has to do that job. He marries somebody, he'll smile. So he's not attached to the body. So that's why he says, I'm a brahmachari. Although much married, he's 8 wives, he's got 10 children. But he says, I'm a brahmachari. I'm not doing anything. The soul is doing. He's Brahma Samsha. So like that. So that is the power of the soul. And when it perceives the object of adoration, it is called asampragnata. This also has higher levels. Pawn shells of the Pandavas. So Patanjali describes them as sampragnata and asampragnata. The Shweta Yukte we discuss this. Patanjali, Paramahansa Yogananda says, in the intuition chariot, who is sitting? Arjuna and Krishna. Horses of white lights from a dark blue center. That is what a yogi sees. Golden light, blue light, and white light. That is why Krishna is blue. White colored light comes first. And anybody who has meditated, gone into Vitarka Vichara has experienced this, Samadhis. And then he hears the sacred pranava sound. How does the pranava sound start? It starts as a manapusa, that is mani pushpaka. It is not mani pushpaka literally, Paramahansa Yogananda says. He says manapusa means one that is pushtikarna, something that is appearing in the manas. So which is the doubting state, subtle manas. So it is the savitarka. Then you have the subhosha. which is the subtle buddhi. Savichara sampragnata samadhi. Vichara sampragnata. Then you have the Devadatta. It's the human nature. Human nature is food, procreation, excretion. That's all. Whole day our life revolves around this. Eat, procreate in between somewhere, and then excrete the stuff. So that is the lower nature. Poundra means to break apart. And that happens when bliss happens in the heart center. Sasmita, the heart awakens. What am I? The Chandogya Upanishad says the soul in the aham form lives like a small little 1 millionth fraction of something of the hair within the heart. So that's the pounder, the ego consciousness in the heart that breaks open. Sasmita Samadhi happens. Ananta Vijaya, conquering everything in the cervical, Vishuddha center. Yudhishthira symbolically is asampragnata samadhi, lower asampragnata samadhi. Ego completely dissolves here. The samadhi, the object of meditation, encompasses the entire universe. Yogananda describes this beautifully in his autobiography. For Yogi, he says, when he was only 16, 18, he entered this state, I could see people walking on my body. My whole body was the universe. I could feel the grass growing on the body. I could feel animals running around my body. It's like suppose an ant is walking. We are aware. Suppose this body expands to the universe. Imagine the consciousness of Jesus Christ, Krishna. They could feel the entire universe in their body. That's why he shows the Brahmand also. Yeah. So that is then you have higher and Sampragnat Samadhi, which is Rishikesha, blowing the Pancha Tattvas, mingling sound of that is called Panchajanya. Higher Sampragnat Samadhi is Nirvikalpa or Nirbija Samadhi. So then Brahma is understood as Om, Tat and Sat. We always say Om, Tat, Son, Father, Son and Holy Ghost in the Christian Bible. So this is Om, Tat and Sat. Asat is cosmic consciousness, which we feel in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Tat is Kutastha, Christ consciousness. Intelligence that creates this universe, or the male, the Purusha, and Prakriti is Om, super consciousness, which we feel as Om in the medulla. So medulla center, and then you have that is Om consciousness you feel in the higher Samadhis. This is okay. Then you feel the Kutastha, that is Krishna consciousness, in the where we put the bindi. That's where we put the bindi or the tilak. To remember, that is where we have to go. That's home. That's home. We have to go inside that. And then we go into the Sasrara, it's the Sat consciousness. Om Tat Sat. So with that, we have understood the Samadhis. So then Duryodhana, of course, he says, this is Sagoshodharta Rashtraanam Hridayani Vidharayat Navascha Prithivim Chaiva Tumulo Venunad. When these vibratory sounds started, the children of Dhritarashtra started shivering. Evil tendency of the body, mind, senses will get destroyed just by hearing the meditative sounds, Yogananda says. You meditate with the Guru given power, you will destroy, or without fail, you will reach those higher consciousness. Chakras will awaken. You'll start feeling Sama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha. Devotion will awaken. Intense devotion will happen through practice. So this is the diagram of what I explained. So you have Bhagavan Krishna, which is Tat consciousness, Panchajanya, Pranavanada, where the tilak is put, Sat consciousness coming from top to down, Parabrahman, with this we can attain in Nirvikalpa, or called Nirbija by Patanjali. This is Akshara Purushottama here. Then below that, this is the Dharmakshetra, inside the skull. You feel the Om or the Savikalpa, which is called the higher Sampragnat Samadhi. This can be felt in the Karana Samadhis, causal Samadhi. So actually these Samadhis are attained by really, really great Purushottamas like Vivekananji, Yogananji, and for us, if we attain Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sadeva, that's a big thing. That's a big Samadhi. Vitarka, Vichara, Ananda, Asmita, and some Asampragnata. Most men who attain Asampragnata are born as Devas. Then if you attain, Om consciousness or Bhagavan Krishna Tat or Nirvikalpa, then you are in those heaven of the Devas, which is the Janaloka, Tapoloka and all that, which are higher, very, very high. They come down from here to help us. So Paramahansa Yogananda says, even there you have to meditate. That's why you see in the Puranas and all, Rishis are meditating, Apsaras will dance, she'll get a curse, she'll Punjika Sthala, she'll come back and become Hanuman's wife. So all these things happen there also. So they was country. Only thing you and I forgot about all this because British came, 2400 years, Kali Yuga was there, descending Kali Yuga, Ghor tha, different people ruled. Now it's coming back. All this is going to come back. So we're putting the discussions here, putting it all together. So you understood the Yoga Sutras are the names of the kings. Yoga Sutras are mentioning the names of the kings. Then we also understood the Maharathis. You will see the very fascinating part, why the Pandavas won. There are 22 Pandava Maharathis, but on the sense side, Kauravas only 14 Maharathis. Maybe soldiers are too many, but leaders are only 14. That is what Yogananji shows. Pandavas leaders are more, including Krishna, you will get then 25. Bhagavan Krishna is the guru on the Pandava side. That means God is wanting you to come back home. Enough. 10 million lives, 84 lakh yonis you want to still enjoy. Enough. Come out. Let us send another soul which is just taken birth from me. That's Brahma standing. Victory means Samadhi, self-realization, which is Atma Sakshatkar. You see pranayama and self-control. Arjuna, Titiksha, Uparati are war heroes. They can win thousands of Kauravas. Arjuna Sabyasachi could kill 100 people together using both hands, 50-50 from each. So powerful. So your self-control is so important for yogic sadhana and higher consciousness, higher memory, higher intelligence. Very important self-control. So, and practicing pranayama, it can destroy sense addictions. Bhishma is the commander of Kauravas. Bad habits, Drona, is very powerful also. Man should introspect, understand what are his negative qualities, which keep repeating. Then he should treat it with the antidote of the Pandava king. Okay, we'll come to that. Ashwatthama is stored vasana. He's dangerous even after victory. What he does, he goes in the night and cuts their necks. Ashwatthama kills sleeping Panchalas, the Siddhis, and soul powers. Only Bhima and Krishna, Guru, Bhima is pranayama, can make Ashwatthama powerless, meaning only the Guru can remove your vasanas and make you a free soul, eternally free. Finding the Guru and practicing his sadhana is hence essential for Samadhi victory in the war. How to kill your bad habits. This is example. Let us look at this quickly chart in 2 minutes. Bhishma is ego. Who kills him? Arjuna. How? Shikhandi is placed. Stop identifying yourself that I am male, I am female, I am that person, this person. Start going within and awakening your Arjuna. That is your self-control. Bhishma will come down and say, oh, you're doing Bhagavad Parayana. You're doing Lalita Sahasranama. You're doing sadhana. Yes, I am not interested. Let us go higher. Bhurishavas. Who is a karma? Karma can be killed by devotion. Very interesting. Satyaki kills him. He's symbolic of devotion. Devotion, you become a Meera, you become an Ekantin, you drop the world. See, people say, I'm practicing Bhakti Yoga. That is not true. Yogananji says, Bhakti means you have to drop everything. You can't be a wife, you can't be a mother. Your initial baby steps of Bhakti. Real Ekantins is given only 1 in million. You are Karma Yoga. You're practicing Karma Yoga. Okay, so Satyaki is actually devotion. When you do devotion, Brahma removes all karma. You don't need anything. So he intervenes. Jayadratha is fear of death. Abhinimesha, giving this to all fear of disease, fear of that, fear of this. Makes us make mistakes also. So Arjuna kills him. Fear is killed by self-control. Then Drona, habits are killed by light of intuition. Dushasana has anger. Anger is killed by pranayama practice in the heart center. Bhima. Karna, raga and dvesha, attachment and greed and accumulation of things and everything. Self-control kills him. Shalya, pride, intense pride. Yudhishthira, calmness, extremely prideful. Calmness, awakened even through meditation. Shakuni, moha, is killed by renunciation of sense indulgence. This is Dhamma. Sahadeva. Then Duryodhana, who Kama, lust, biggest evil guy is killed by Bhima, who Pranayama. So lust can be conquered only by intense Guru-given power of Pranayama. That is why even greatest rishis like Vishwamitra fell when the Menaka danced. So many stories we have, no? Greatest rishis. So it is only by intense sadhana, more and more sadhana, man stops falling. Kritavarma, and then he rises to Deva and higher Janaloka states. Kritavarma, envy, he lives. You see, he doesn't die. He dies only when the entire clan of Krishna destroys. Why? Because they say this basic kind of possessive feeling, which is the cause of Matsarya, is there even in the greatest rishis. Even if you're doing sadhana, you're feeling, oh, I'm doing sadhana. Oh, I'm better than the rest. I'm a rishi. I'm in Himalayas. I don't have anything to do with the world. So you will see this little bit of possessive symptom even in the greatest rishis. That's what Yogananda says. So but he will ultimately die when you unite Brahma and with you. This one in the entire clan he goes. Vikarna is Dvesha, and Bhima kills him. Pranayama kills. Kripacharya survives the war because avidya will continue. Even if we go, it will continue. Is symbolic of avidya. Ashwatthama is Vasana. Vasana is also continuous. It becomes a causal desire. We saw that. Okay, that is it. So with that we close. Next part we have why the Pandavas die. There's some reasons for it. It is not really important. You can get all this in the book. It's a very detailed chart. If you're interested, also I have published the paper. You can read this chart and all. It's a spiritual symbolism and why he was killed. So with that, we have come to the conclusion of this very intense 1.5 hour journey, 1 hour 20 minutes. So I thank each one of you for patiently listening, and I hope you understood the 3 or 4 parts of the presentation. Let's take a moment of silence and then we'll be open to questions. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madams.
Hello. Oh, thanks so much, Madam Vanamala Deepak, for your very
Thank you, sir.
comprehensive talk
Yes, sir.
on the Paramahansa Yogananda Yogi principles. I am Dr. Kesan Marana, coordinator of this program. And today you have explored a very beautiful conceptual analysis of um, uh, Yogananda's yogic principles. And in this, you have stated that how Pandava concepts in Bhagavad Gita and the sadhanas of Patanjali Yoga Sutras mm, in
Kavita madam, please
Bhagavad
mute
Gita.
because the recording will be. Kavita madam,
Hello.
please mute. Madam. Kavita
Hello.
madam, please mute.
Now it is very beautiful, and now I would like to request Professor Dr. K. Omnarana to carry on the interactive activity.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Rao.
Thank you, Dr. Maharana. Well, I should thank Vanamala Deepak madam for a very beautiful paper, very technical. The amount of time that she might have spent for working on these Vyasa Kootas, one can imagine
Dr. Rao.
The Bhagavad Gita is giving layers and layers of meanings, which Patanjali Muni understood, and he gave the principles as to how yoga can happen inside the body. What are the stages of the yoga sadhana? But yoga is required. Faster, higher consciousness. If you want to go through other processes, but it's very fast. The Yoga Sutras, the Ashtanga Yoga, Pranayama Pratyahara, Dharana Dhyana Samadhi. But this is in the Gita already. So it is not the Gita is the same. So if you see 6th chapter, Bhagavan Krishna also says, through Abhyasa and Vairagya, you can conquer your mind. When Krishna says, conquer my mind, what should I do? The same thing Patanjali also, Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam tan nirodha. So he says, so you see, he actually goes Krishna in the Yoga Sutras. This is a time in history Yoganandaji, the great Sri Sri Yoganandaji has, Paramahansa Yoganandaji has revealed to the world that complete oneness between the Yoga Sutras and the Gita. Because I am studying in Vyasa, influx of foreigners, the Western world interested in yoga. Everywhere, national, international yogic awards are won by Italians and Germans and not Germans, Italians normally, Italians or Chinese, not by Indian. In future, they should not come and teach us Yoga Sutras. They are already giving Yoga Sutras. Dr. David Trolley, Gyanis, Rishis, they call themselves Rishis. They're giving explanation of Yoga Sutras. So you see that we should understand the Yoga Sutras first. Get such interpretations by great Mahatas. So this is the gist. And before I conclude the gist is, the Pandavas are in our spinal cord. The Kauravas are also in our spinal cord. Both are fighting in the spine. Goes down and out through the spine. The Kauravas have won. Upward, the Kundalini awakens, moves upward to the Kutastha consciousness. So every night you have to awaken Sanjaya and ask the intuitive introspection to ask him before sleeping or in meditation. Today, did Shakuni win? Or did Karna win? Or did Arjuna win? So did you see who won in the lower chakras like the Swadhisthana or the Mooladhara sexual chakras? Who Nakula won, Sahadeva, or the Duryodhana won, or the Dushasana is the Dharmakshetra. The spine is the Dharmakshetra where the Kurukshetra is happening every day. And until this Kurukshetra is won, you and I don't attain that self-realization in Krishna. So he says, find peace within yourself, transform yourself within. Then the external wars, external pain and poverty, everything.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, madam. Beautifully said. The war is within, and the negative every day, every moment, and
Yes.
it's on and it's on. And we are there to find out the way. We have with us beautiful people here, the webinar, and I request in mind so that Vanamala respond to the query. Anybody, any query. Asking somebody has Nayak. He has. He wants to know, because when you say that chit doesn't interact directly with the world or the prakriti, it needs an instrument. So that's the reason why maybe he has asked between
the question is what is the difference between chitta and buddhi, right?
Yes.
Okay. See, fundamentally at the causal sphere, this again starts, Satpara Brahma, he breaks and manifests into two parts. One is his side comes his kind of, that is the concept of Ardhanarishvara uniting Purusha and Prakriti, the worship the linga. So Om. Om is considered the female, from which the feeling comes, chitta, and Aham comes. So Aham, chitta is full of feeling. She wants to experience, she wants to enjoy, she wants to know about the world. But their fundamental force, it's somewhere there, higher dimensions. And it's also permeating and percolating through us. So chitta is the female principle. The male Kutastha produces force to experience and understand this world, and that is buddhi. Now, the female principle chitta from her called the manas. The manas goes on to activate the sense organs, the karmendriyas. It just absorbs from outside world. It doesn't want to interact more. That is why Pandu goes away. Nivritti. This is manas outward looking, all the sensory organs. This is the buddhi upward looking. So these are two forces. So you see, this is the divi and manas. But chitta is much higher. Chitta is the producer of manas only. She can be compared to. So like this is a manas, and that's why he's carrying information from the eyes. Buddhi gets. For example, manas will say, look from the eyes. The buddhi. Then the chitta will say, oh, beautiful rose. The chitta is involved there. And then I want the rose. So mana, buddhi, aham, chitta together, they interpret creation. Points, interpret the creation. Forces exist in the after death state also. Yogananda says, you die, never die. When you are dead, you can still eat, you can still drink, you can still see, you can touch, feel everything. So subtly also even the higher devas have mana buddhi aham chitta and all. So this is the fundamental concept in ancient. And these four forces, then we know everything. So I hope I've clarified what is a chitta and buddhi difference.
One problem that I encountered now. Well, as you said that manas comes out. Can't the manas move inwards? Because once the mind is controlled, can't it focus inward?
Yes, yes. It's a very good question that you are asking. I've switched off the video so that we can focus on the discussion. So yes, manas, what Yogananda says from his teachings, manas it cannot focus within, because see, it is the reins. It becomes stable because the outwards is to feel outwards. It uses eyes, nose, and the organs of action. It is the things. So its work is outward looking. God has created it like that. Okay, so it will separate. Mind in English, manas is a different concept. Manas is a manager of the jnanendriyas and the like looking, smelling, taste, and all. That's loosely translated as a chitta. So manas is chitta within, looking within itself. So we don't really. So the manas job is outside. So what it becomes is when the buddhi awakens, Dhritarashtra, he's a manas. Go into Vanavas. After the victory, he's still there alive. Manas is still alive. He doesn't have any work, anything. He doesn't have to touch anything. He doesn't have to see anything. Meaning, what I'm saying is, it doesn't die. It realizes. Vanavasa means it goes silent. Meaning, it allows the buddhi to work. Awakened chakras. So that's the symbology. So again, answer to the question is, manas in Sanskrit is different. English doesn't have a word for manas. Similarly, English doesn't have a word for chitta. For ancient, they understood the fundamental four forces body, which are active in this body. So that is why when we take a decision, there's so much war inside our head only. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Manas is telling something, using feeling, buddhi is saying something, and then aham quietly will be watching. So you see, there are so many people. The best part to understand here is see, Brahma, Sat-consciousness of Kootas is so powerful, so immensely powerful. Billions of he says in the 10th chapter, what is it? Idam Kritsnam ekam shena sthito jagat. Entire creation is only a small or particle of my being. Now, what is Brahma? Now, if as Kootas the Chaitanya, as Mahat Tattvas, and Om is coming out, and then Aham is coming out, and Chitta is coming, then Buddhi and Aham, Manas. Each of these are also powerful. They are also intelligent being. It is not only what we are are also having their own intelligence. Supta Prajna, the astral body, for example, subconscious mind. It's all silent. But physically, with little we use Manas, Buddhi, Aham, Chitta. It goes. Manas doesn't have an English word, so the mind interiorization different from Manas. Goes into Vanavas, meaning it becomes stabilized and silent. But he is not attached to the food, so like that. So he will eat whatever is given. He will also enjoy it, but the enjoyment doesn't become excitement. Very controlled in Vanavas state. He takes the reins. He's anyway the charioteer.
Beautifully said, very nicely said. Well, so Manas just controlled, then what moves inside the Buddhi? What moves inside the Buddhi then?
Looking inwards. Nivritti, it is job only. Using Buddhi. We are not using Manas. If we're using Manas, means we'll be outside partying with the friends. So the Manas, when it is used, will be there. So the people, wisdom gathering, prajna awakening state, nivritti state. That's why Pandu symbolically goes off to forest. No, he goes up. Connected to the symbology of the story. So Dhritarashtra is very active. He's king. So for a lower-minded person, he is very active with his sensory organs and his all. Doing enjoying food, this, blah. And Yogananda says 80% of the world will be active with the Manas. 20% have started utilizing and awakening. So that is a pravritti against nivritti. Manas is pravritti. It is created like that. We can't help it. Brahma created it like that. So even in the after death state also it's there. Even in causal universe it's there. So that's how it is. Yes, sir.
Well, I can't as you are because you are well versed. But one thing again, it comes to my mind. Well, when we talk of Buddhi, it is both out and inward also. That means it is both outwardly and inward.
Yeah, Jnana is Parabuddhi and Aparabuddhi. Everything has dual states. Everything has dual. That is the duality. Yogananda explains this very important. He says the fundamental principle that creates this universe is duality, which activity or Maya. He says that the South Pole, human body also has the head is the North Pole and the bottom is the South Pole. So a rubber band, it becomes very powerful. Evil, avidya, delusion, Maya, and goodness. Forces together like a rubber band stretched, keeps creation in a out mode. That is why creation is existence. He says is in existence. The happens, Shikandi state happens. Then Mana, Buddhi, Aham, Chitta, everything dissolves into Kutastha Chaitanya. Back to unity consciousness. Even in great yogis, Albanji says this again. He says, even in Gospel of Ram, Ramakrishna says that if a complete unity consciousness happens inside a yogi, the body will stay in Maya. So if you see Shirdi Sai Baba used to smoke the chillum, Yogananji would keep on eating. Unnecessarily he would eat. He would steal butter. Okay. And see, like for example, Ramakrishna Paramahansa would keep on eating. So people like you, people like doctors and all who are very, this and they say, oh, he got mouth cancer because he himself says, I have to chew pan. That stretching of rubber band, North Pole, South Pole does not exist inside these grades unless I do something wrong. My body, Shirdi Sai Baba is to, that is why Krishna has to steal butter, because he has to do some sin kind. So then only that body will exist. So that is duality. So when the manas becomes Buddhi, manas, ends. Very interesting. In the ending is the beginning of complete awareness. Yogananda says, Parabrahman, you become aware of entire creation as yourself. Enjoying your one plate and coffee rather than, or one plate of jamun and rasgulla. It's very interesting the way he explains. So for that, to go ahead and read the autobiography for Yogi, and also the teachings of Yogananda. Details of Sanatana Dharma Yoga is given very easily, succinctly absorbed.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Asking something in the chat box. Well, she's there. She can directly speak to Vanamala
Sophia
Madam.
ji. Sophia ji.
Madam, please. She's there. Yes, please.
Hi,
Welcome.
can you?
Welcome.
Yes, I can hear you, Sophia ji. Please go on.
Okay. I'll read my question. Gita, that's the war between good and evil, Pandavas and Kauravas. But if we try too hard, if we meditate too much, like fight the war, we can lose the war by burnout, tension, and talk about balance as well. Yoga and the spiritual path is like walking on a razor's edge. And Swami Shri dog a bone, meaning that it's not official to be too pure, so to say. Can you?
That's a beautiful question, Sophia ji. Very interesting. The spiritual path, like Paramahansa Yogananda says, yes, you need to practice balance, and you have to throw the meals. Yukteswar ji says, don't go hungry and fasting and say, okay, I'm going to fight the war so intensely. I'm a yogi in one day, or you have to feed the body. So the answer to this is very fascinating. There are levels of realization. So when we start the spiritual path, we have to throw the dog a bone. We have to take care of the body. We are still in the wanting food to survive. When you have reached the state of a Pandava, the Pandavas go for 14 years in the they meditate, they practice, they do the sadhana, meaning 12 years is almost like a yuga cycle. That when the intensely powerful, then Tivra Samvega happens. So when the yogi is when the practice meditation 1 or 2 hours, but Yogananda also says in his writing, I will never fail to let you know when you are ready for samadhi or be in these higher states of your realization. That is when we really win the war. But till we are getting the war, but always letting the Pandavas win. But that is why it takes 18 days, equal to almost maybe in the beginning, they're losing until Bhishma is winning. Then slowly they win, again they lose, again win, again lose. So during that time, we have to throw and we can't live without food, without sunlight, without interacting with the world. At that time, we have to be balanced, but we have to know the goal and continue to work. That's attain that higher state. The Guru will not fail to let us know that, look, you are now going to attain some prajnata samadhi, asamprajnata. There will be no hunger. There will be no nothing. Now you don't have to throw the dog bone anymore. Till then, if we start like that, stress and tension will happen. It's not the way. And it is a slow process, but it shall happen. And it is a war fighting in the divine order and scheme of the relationship between God and man. And we have to win the war, to win the freedom of the soul. So, but it happens slowly. Suddenly start, it will lead to stress and burnout.
Very nicely responded, madam. Very beautifully said. to realize the inner, the outer has to be alive, because it is not that easy. It's not that too fast. It has to survive for. It has to survive. So
Yes,
the
yes.
process, the inner can be there can be an inner realization, or you can move to the inner. So very beautiful. Thank you so thank you so much. Well, we have many people here. Anybody, any query, they're welcome. I'll wait for half a minute. Well, I'm not getting any response. In the means, Dr. Radhanath Behra sir, who is there from the beginning, I request him to have his brief comments, because brief. Is he here? Let me check, please. Dr. Radhanath Behra sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
Dr. Rao.
yes, namaskar.
I'm here. I'm very much in the sequence. I've been listening
Namaskar, sir,
to
please.
brilliant analysis, word by sentence by sentence, sloka by sloka. I have a small query. Madam, are you listening to me?
Sir, I can listen to you, sir. I've just
Okay,
muted because
okay,
this
okay.
will close. Yeah.
I'll a sort of difference between the two Paramahansas, Paramahansa Ramakrishna and Paramahansa Yogananda. I am indirectly a student of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, attached to him through Swami Vivekananda. Now, Ramakrishna says, final analysis is to achieve Samadhi through Advaita Vedanta. But I am not sure what about Ananda Paramahansa. Was he any fixed ideal that would take you to Samadhi or to liberation? What is the between the two?
Okay, sir.
Kindly explain.
Yes. For the beautiful question. It's an amazing philosophical question, Professor. So, Paramahansa, every yogi comes with a different Yogananda's path. It is called as Kriya Yoga. Yoganandaji
That's
says,
right.
yes. So this is called. This is very and given by Yoganandaji himself says Krishna gave it to us as and 12 years in the Vanamasa was taught by Vasishta Maharshi to Sri Rama also when he went to the Vyasa. So they practice. So this is a very fast and powerful way of attaining awakening of the is taught there. It's a kind of a diksha you have to take, just like in Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Initially, the puja diksha is given, or to some people, the Hongso diksha is given. Diksha is very different. So this Yoganandaji calls it as a Raja Yoga. So there is a combination of three ancient techniques, which is the same. And then you have the Om practice. Om practice is, it doesn't have a Sanskrit name as such. It's not used. It's just used in English. You have a stand in every picture. You'll see a rishi sitting with a tea stand under his arm. So that's how it is used. The Kootas, the Chaitanya. And after practicing these two, there is one kind of yogic practice where we draw the urja. You've heard Puru. I can live as long as you want without food, but just give me sunlight. I can draw food from sunlight and live. So that technique is practiced through to Kriya Yogis. We call it which we have to do by showing the medulla oblongata and the Kootas to the sun. So this is the third technique. After you practice it through the breath in the Kechari mudra, which is the mudra of putting the tongue in the nasal passage, which is a little tough. So initially you will take the breath from the spine, revolve it around, go up into the Kutastha and create a magnet in the spine. But spine, the technique is very scientific. All the prana gets drawn back into the spine intensely, and immediately Vichara Samadhi happens. Dharana happens. So this is Kriya Yoga, and this is a very fastest method of attaining awakening of chakra. Slow method is awakening in what happens when the Anahata chakra starts getting triggered? Of course, there will be, and hallucination. I'm not hallucination, visions and of lights and sounds will start, and then bhakti will. Bhakti, it is impossible to contain it. You say Brahma or Krishna, Jesus. That's the best part. You see, you say Allah. The water will start coming because the soul begins to. So then even Paramahansa Yogananda goes to say, a yogi who practices 12 years or even 24 years of Kriya Yoga is in the sure. That's the power. Even done haphazardly for 48 years, it can get definite mukti. But if it is intensely practiced, these awakenings. So that's the answer. It is simply called Kriya Yoga. And Mahavatar Babaji gave it. Shirdi Sai Baba was a practitioner. Christ was a practitioner. He taught it to all the 12 apostles, and that is why the day of the Pentecost, but it's all lost in translation in history. Nobody is aware of it. He talks about Kriya Yoga. He says Tapaswadya Ishwara Pranidhanani Kriya Yoga. Patanjali talks about Kriya Yoga. Bhagwan Krishna talks about Kriya Yoga. Pranam Prane Apane Tatapare Prana Prana Samayukta Pacham. He says Pranayama Parayana. Then you're putting Pranayama in the spine, and then you become Parayana, expert in Pranayama, and then Yatendriya Munir Moksha Parayana. And then you become on the path of moksha, you will go. Bhagavan Krishna says this is Kriya Yoga. It is done in this. The path you follow.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. I have another question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't have questions.
Please, you can ask any questions. It's definitely, I would love to meet such people because such questions don't occur.
Swami Vivekananda was asked once in America, Sir, how do you get this memory?
Yes.
Looking at a book, you could reproduce. How is it possible? He gave an answer by they could understand. But the other thing was, he was never spoke a false word for 12 years, and he advised Indian disciples practice, and they will have a phenomenal memory power, which is true.
Yes, you have practiced, sir.
Yeah,
amazing, sir. I'm so happy to meet other guys.
No, not that. It is not for advertisement or self-boasting.
No,
as far as possible.
I am happy to meet such great saints. Bow to you. Great
No, that's not the way. But as a lover of God, or Sri Aurobindo or Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, I have not gone much about. I want to be a yogi, and then after of him kept that book. I have not the time. But then one thing can be said: Kriya Yoga, it is although adopted Yogananda Paramahansa, I think the other yogas are more popular than this. Maybe they are easy to understand or to adopt. I don't know. But Kriya Yoga, although it is very somewhere around Yogananda Paramahansa, but still then people love to adopt this. So there is no discrimination or comparison between the two paths or the more paths. But in this yoga, our life, I think Bhakti is the easiest one, people say. Yogis adopt it. That was easy because, as Sister Nivedita once commented, that since people work throughout their life. They are bit attached to karma, therefore they can easily become karma yogis, and that culminates in their liberation. I don't know, because you have understood pretty well. You can be our guide in this respect. Madam, please comment.
Dr. Behra, very beautiful question. I wouldn't want to compare the paths because I am still a Trinmatra to compare these paths. But having said this, what Yogananji says is, khichdi sabko bhata nahi hai. Everyone doesn't, yeah, everyone doesn't need to eat khichdi, every day of their life. So every soul, chooses its own set of paths, which is required for its journey and experience. So Advaita Vedanta, which is Jnana Marga, which of Ramana Maharshi, who am I questioning? Then, which is Bhakti Sadhana, giving up, surrender everything completely to God. Karma Yoga, being detached in activities and continuing to do yogic sadhana like Kriya Yoga, and of course, like how you mentioned, like Sudarshana Kriya, Shambhavi, everything is there. There are different types of sadhanas. Even the, you have the Sri Vidya sadhakas, which 5 to 6 hours from what I've spoken to those people. There are different types of sadhanas. The Shiva Samhita says that there are 1,25,000 will take different forms of gurus and come and give it to different people at different times. So that's why he's called the guru. So the different forms of different gurus, and according to this, the requirement, the desire, and the taste of the soul and the journey in its life, he will give different things. And Kriya is given. Yogananji says this, that when the soul says he's reached this way in moksha sadhana, when he end of your, again I want to get out of this mukti, he says a cycle of incarnation. When Lord says, okay, just do it, come out of the spine, just come out of the spine, come through the Kootas, no go. But then when the soul still has a lot of things to do, it will choose its. It is not that the guru just selects somebody, and it is all pre-decided. Everything is pre-decided. For example, a Kriya yogi may not be inclined to do, say, about excessive. He, for example, there's a football match happening. A karma yogi will do his hard work, go and enjoy the football match, come do his puja, light the lamp and go to sleep. But the Kriya yogi may say, I don't want the football match. Those 2 hours I will practice my sadhana. So its journey is different. It is different. So it will. Having said that, Janaka Maharshi attained Janakade, Lord says, through Karma Yoga. Satyakama Jabala attained through intense, sudden practice. Within 1 year, he gets his self-realization. Ramakrishna went through the Bhakti Marga. Meera went through Bhakti Marga. Yogananda, Lahari Mahashya, Swami Babaji, Jesus Christ, Krishna himself went. Things that at the age of now, age of for my year-old. Babaji apparently gave Kriya Diksha to Kabir at the age of 80. So these are the stories, the way it was. Adi Shankara himself was a great Jnani, Pattabhakta also together. So many, this ones. But finally, he took the path of sadhana, and then he decided, yes. So we don't know after that what happened at the age of 32. So like that, each soul, but sir, one sadhana path will give this, and this is better than nothing. Khichdi is good one day, idli dosa is equally good, same nutrition, you will still get from rice sambar, you will still get from chapati and paneer curry, everything, nutrition, food, millions types of food, million types of beings. For example, we are talking only about Earth. Paramahansa Yogananda says there are billions of beings. I see, he says, what you call as aliens. There's a very interesting story that he actually called 2 beings which looked with big eyes and short beings, which these foreigners say, and he showed his monks right there. He said, these are the beings. They went and came and touched the Guru's feet. And this happened in Encinitas in sadhana on the sea coast. So you see, they also have sadhana. Those beings have attained so many states, and they also have sadhana. So sadhana margas are grains of sand, and nothing is better than the other. That's what the Yogananda says. And where you are is the right path for you. Like you rightly said, I am on the path of Advaita. I am following the right thing for you to do. Your soul's journey it is. And I saw. So it is not. You are on the path. Your guru is. I'll give you an example. Like I remember once I went to Sudarshana Kriya and I said, look, I want to learn this many years back, 20 years back. The receptionist yelled, you here? Why are you? I was shocked. I was really shocked because one of my colleagues in Bombay told me, go to there, you'll get so much peace. Within 6 months, I entered the path of Kriya Yoga and then it made sense. It's like I went to a. So immediately the receptionist, some angel saying, whatever higher being saying. So I came back very disillusioned, very sad. I thought the receptionist treat me like this, but I'm so happy she treated me like that because I had to go somewhere else. So it's my soul's journey. So like that's it happened. So she was laughing. These are miracles. I was telling somebody just recently that there was this lady. She was standing in a queue. And suddenly somebody taps her at the back and she says, do you have a guru called Yukteshwar? He's telling you to practice that sadhana more often in the Kriya Yoga path. She's shocked. She's looking at him and saying, what? No, are you also follow? The person says, no, I don't know. I don't know why I said all this. Guru can use any voice. Ramdas ji, when one of the disciples of Yogananda ji went, my guru is dead in 1952. He said, please accept me. Ramdas ji looked at his eyes and he said, you are fully active. He can use any voice, any body, any thought. And you are dead. Go and follow. Go back to the path. So we all have destined path. Same path to find God. Sir. We can't. Vyasa. Anjali says. You find the Eka Tattva and you practice it. And that within one life, you can. What did he? Unenlightened person. He goes, touches Ramakrishna's. He's in the causal universe. Seeing the silver and golden river. Frolicking, and they're like, you are human. You look so, humans are ugly. So you look so. So he says, my guru brought me here. So that Latu Maharaj in one. So you see, he was our guru can intensely get that. Is the Guru Gita. Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. In a fraction of a second, Ramakrishna can give you moksha. Fraction of a second, Yogananda can give us moksha. Sharda Ma can give moksha. But we have to make ourselves fit for it. A God who can create universes can vasanas in a fraction. That's what Yogananda says. Please the Guru. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam. Well, thank you.
Beautiful analysis.
Very beautifully said, very beautifully analyzed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your depth and for your clarity. Well, to our admin, Professor Das, for having his words on the entire webinar. Please, Dr. Das, please.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. This was a very wonderful presentation and also unique in the sense that there are so many interpretations, thousands of interpretations, chapter by chapter, verse by verse. So here we found a different type of interpretation even without going through a single verse of the Bhagavad Gita. That is the beauty of this type of interpretation. Some merit points I shall focus about this presentation, that in a very scientific way, Madam went through the meaning of the words, meaning of the names. That was wonderful, because dogmatically we should not follow the mythological figures as the religious characters. So that sounds bad. But when we understand or we interpret the meaning of names in such a way that appears to be very secular, that it is meant for all. So that is that I liked most. And the second thing is that is called spiritual symbolism. That we should take every character, every name as a symbol. It is symbolic. It is not really literally mythological. Number one. Number two is very beautifully she said that war is between mano and buddhi. This is very true. Actually, the war is there between mano and buddhi. The lower mind and the higher mind, the lower layer of consciousness, the higher layer of consciousness. Arjuna belongs to Manas in that sense, and Lord Krishna belongs to Buddhi or the higher mind. So the dialogue is between two minds. Arjuna symbolizes the lower mind and Lord Krishna symbolizes the higher mind. And she said very beautifully that there are three types of wars. One is the war in our body through the sense organs, motor organs. Another is the psychic conflict, that is the psychological war. And the third one is the spiritual war. Kurukshetra, then Dharmakshetra and Kurukshetra, then last one is Dharmakshetra. So in this way, we struggle. War means struggle. War means we have to transform from the lower layer of consciousness to the higher layer of consciousness. And we shall stop not till the goal is reached. That goal is to be mingled with the pure consciousness. So that is the journey. That is the goal of life. And another merit point is that she elaborated her discussion focusing on Patanjali Yoga. So that means her discussion is very pinpointed. She focused on that, how mind can grow and glow by spiritual sadhana. Because mind is everything. We live physically, we live psychologically, and we uplift ourselves to spiritual level, but that is only through mind. Mind is the only instrument which can be controlled by yogic sadhana. And with due respect to her guru, she justified her talk in a different way with a different flavor, and we are all enlightened by her presentation. So it is now time to wind up the session because it is already 8:45. So now I shall request Dr. Rao to request Mahana sir for vote of thanks. Thank you.
Yes, he is here present. Yes, Dr. Maharana.
Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Rao and Dr. Das. So today is a very beautiful evening for all of us. For the first time, we have witnessed such kind of the brilliant talk of Madam Vanamala. Today, we have got a different dimension thought when we are entering into the philosophy of Swami Yogananda, and that is while Madam was delivering her talk in a very brilliant manner. So at the time we could mindfully listen the talk, and when he was giving the symbolic significance of all the names of Kurukshetra, all the names of Mahabharata, including the Kurukshetra and all the terms that is discussed in Mahabharata. It was so conceptual. So I have not listened, I have not witnessed such kind of talk before. So Madam's conceptual analysis to the different terms used in Mahabharata in connection with the Kriya Yoga of Yogananda has really extended our dimension of thought in this topic. And as Dr. Das has stated, and as Dr. Rao has said, and Dr. Behra sir has told, that it is very much linked and connected to with our life. And in the third chapter of Madam's analysis, that is Sankhanada, Madam beautifully analyzed the object of concentration, Sampratagya Samadhi and Asampragyata Samadhi. When she was making a conceptual analysis between Vitarka and Sabitarka, Vichara and Sabichara, Ananda and Sananda, Asmita and Sasmita. That is, they are very beautiful. And today, Madam, for the first time, has given such kind of a beautiful talk on this. And we have listened, we have read the philosophy of Yogananda, but we have not gone through the book that is of Yogananda regarding such kind of analysis, conceptual analysis of Mahabharata in connection with life, in connection with our yoga. So very, very beautiful, and congratulations to Madam for her talk, for her analysis, and for responding the technical questions made by our learned participants. So this topic, this talk is very much conceptual, very much technical, and thanks so much, man. We must expect another talk from Madam. Now, it's my honor to extend a very warm gratitude to Madam Vanamala for her talk, for her presence, and for accepting our invitation to be the speaker of today's webinar. And on behalf of Philosophy Family, we extend our love, we extend our thanks and gratitude to Madam. And we are also extending our gratitude to all the learned participants in this very beautiful webinar, beautiful evening. I also extend my gratitude to Dr. Das for connecting Madam Vanamala to our family. I extend my gratitude to Dr. Rao for making a very beautiful, beautiful analysis while moderating the question and sensation. So thanks to all the question raisers, thanks to all the participants to be with us in this very beautiful and meaningful session. Thank you so much. Now I would like to request Dr. Das to wind up this session.
Yes, yes. Now this session is declared closed with a sense of gratitude. We are grateful to all of you. All of you.
Thank you.
Yes, madam, you please come with another paper in the recent future.
Yes.
Thank you. Madam.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Thank
for the
you.
One more request, please make out a paper out of this presentation
Yes.
so that we can publish in our next volume.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So one more thing, you please give your address so that we can send our publications.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for the kind words.
Thank you so much for coming and giving a beautiful lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you to everyone, and each question was very enlightening, and it is all Guru Kripa Hi Kevalam. So it's all surrendered at the feet of the Divine Master. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Grateful
Thank you.
to all of you.